Okay, hi, Olivia here from Sugar Spa, and I am going to talk today about how I shape my own eyebrows. So first of all, I wanted to point out some things about my personal eyebrows. Obviously, mine are very thick in this area, and they tend to thin out on the outer corners. Now, I will admit to being a child, a teenager, and in my 20s in the 90s, and so I did over tweeze. I really did. I have some very funny older pictures of myself. So there was a period of comma brows where it was like a chunk here and then up and over. And then there was a period of just really high, thin eyebrows. I was very lucky that I stopped doing that while I was still in my 20s, and that they tended to grow back for the most part. I had to leave them alone for 5 years to get them to grow back in like this. So that's my challenge is working with this shape so that it doesn't look too much like it's just a big heavy clunk here and then this really thin tail on the side. Okay. One thing that I do want to point out, I have very deep set eyes. And so the downside of that is that powder does tend to fall. I do use powder for my eyebrows personally, but powder tends to fall down onto this part here. And so there's a couple different ways that you can approach that problem. Number one is that you can do your brows and your eye makeup before you do your face makeup. If you're going to do a lot of eyeshadow, different shades, lots of layering, lots of blending, I might recommend that. Something else that you can do, a little trick that I've learned, is if you do your face makeup first, is to put an extra layer of your translucent powder underneath your eyes before you do your eyebrows and your eyeshadow. And then as that pigmented powder is falling down, when you're done, I just take my powder brush and I brush away the excess powder, the translucent powder, and it takes the colored powder with it, rather than it sticking to your foundation and your concealer under your eyes. So just a little tip. So my eyebrows, real quick, real dirty. I was a makeup artist for 7 years professionally. And so for myself, I got down to being able to do my full face, including eyeshadow, eyeliner, lashes, everything in about 7 minutes. So I don't spend hours on my eyebrows. I don't spend an hour on my makeup. I've watched these YouTube videos with the eye makeups that have, 15 different colors and will take you, 25 minutes to watch it, but it took them an hour and a half to put it on. I don't do that. So today I'm not wearing any eyeshadow at all, but I am going to show you how I shape my eyebrows. In my previous video, I talked about my tools, but this one is my main tool that I use. I love this particular brow brush. I've had this one forever. I don't even think this brand exists anymore. And I clean it every time I use it. Just a little spritz of alcohol, real easy to keep it clean. Also, by the way, any kind of powder product like this, if you are going from the product to your skin and back again quite a lot, you want to make sure that you are cleaning it regularly, trying to get any oil build up off the surface of the powder. So to do that, I just take a tissue, soak it in alcohol, and press it into the top of the powder and lift it away and let it dry. And so that at least gets it a little bit more sanitary. But these are products that I'm only using on myself. These are not products I'm using on clients. And so it's just easier to do it that way. All right, so I use 2 colors for my brows, because as you can see, I'm sort of two-toned right now, or 3. My roots are very dark, but my hair color recently has been more red for the last 10 or 15 years. So until I can get back to my lovely hairstylist who I miss so much, hi Abigail, I am letting my roots grow out a little bit, so they're a little darker than usual. But I still use 2 different colors. The base color I use is a brown that's at least a couple shades lighter than my actual brow color, my actual hair color. And then to make it blend in more naturally with my chosen hair color, I am adding in some auburny red to that. Finding the right shade for this was actually very difficult. Most of them tended to be either too sort of purpley or were too light. So finding one that had enough orange in it was hard. Anyway, so I start with the brown color and just get a little bit of powder on there. And you might want to tap off the excess just in case, okay? I don't want to go too dark too quickly. And then I don't start on the very inner corner yet, okay? I start in the body of the brow where most of the hair is. And then I blend it out. And my strokes are going in an upward motion on the diagonal towards my temple up here. Because that's where you want the eye to go, right? So that's where my color is going to go. Okay, a little bit more. Now I'm going to change my angle and do that downward angle. Just filling that in a little bit. Don't be afraid to angle your face so that you can see what you're doing. Okay. Now, I find it easier to do a little bit at a time and just keep adding color versus trying to do too much and then trying to get rid of the excess color. Okay, so just see me filling in that one little gap I had right there. Right there. And then when I get to this underside, I'm just going to fill that in a little bit. Good. Okay, then I'm going to go and I'm going to use a couple of my other tools that we talked about earlier. The first one is this little rounded, softer brush. And what I do with this one is I just kind of blend the color that's already in my brow towards my nose a little bit so that it's not a shocking straight line of color and then over. I like to blend it in a little bit to make it look more natural. Okay. That's my first one. And then the second one is my other angled brush. And on this one, what I'm doing is I'm not actually sticking the brush straight into the powder. I am literally going on the two sides of the brush because my goal is to just have the thinnest possible edge that I can start here, go straight up to my arch, and then from here, straight down. Okay, see how that gives me a nice sharp edge on my angle? And then I'm going to do the same on the top. Like so. Okay, awesome. And then my last step is the brow gel, which I put away. I'm going to dig it back out because I wasn't thinking properly. And I like to use a clear brow gel because I just did all that powder and shaping with my color. I don't want to mess up that by putting a colored brow gel on top of it. But I'm going to use my spoolie. Remember, we talked about this earlier. Clean spoolie, not double dipping into my clear brow gel. Just one time in and out. I'm going to go in. I'm going to get quite a bit of product on there. If I were doing both eyebrows at once, which usually this is the last step, but I'm just doing one eyebrow for you today, is I would do an application on this side, turn it over, application on this side, and then kind of spread out the product. So up and away first, and then a little dash down towards the quarter. Okay. So that is my best tips and tricks for doing eyebrows. If you're interested in more information about actual shaping of eyebrows, we have that in another video, so go and check that one out. We also have several other videos from our beautiful team members about, oh, I forgot to do my red, about how they do their eyebrows. And so, you know, our take on things is every eyebrow is unique. Every face is unique. And so the shape of your eyebrows shouldn't be determined by a template or a reality TV star. Your shape of your eyebrows should be determined by what will look the most natural on your face, what you have the correct hair growth for, and what will complement your features. And that is not going to be the same eyebrow for every single person. It's going to be a unique eyebrow for each person. And that is what Authentic Brows is all about, is finding your unique, perfect eyebrow for you. So I hope this was helpful and that you're having a great day. And we hope to see you again soon on any of these videos. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments down below and we'd be happy to answer them. Thanks so much.